Hi there, and welcome back to another great video by me. This video is more is more deeper, talking about the meaning behind the Super Bowl halftime show, and with the Turning Point USA a lineup of speakers. And this is why Kid Rock and Bad Bunny is going into a controversy of mocking and making fun of each other, is how more separated we are now, and having Turning Point USA as Charlie Kirk's ruined a legacy. For will the halftime show ruin Charlie Kirk's a major legacy? Who knows for in the long run. And how religious is by Turning Point USA is with the religious of Chris of by is that America will never forget. And with the Olympics and Paris, France by mocking Christ, with the open ceremony of summer on July 26th of 2024. And that was another big sign that America will never forget. And another deeper meaning is, why does the international folks know more about our news, what's going on here, than more likely around them? But again, is why are the internationals more deeper mocking our Christianity, a religious here in America will never forget what happened in Rio, Brazil, in their big festivals, and with their carnivals of 2019 and 2020 of the Rio Carnival. Apparently that the sample school Magnera portrayed and modernized a version of Jesus as a marginalized figure, as a black indigenous or poor, which is more likely representing as more like a Jesus. Kid Rock and Bad Bunny is making fun of each other, is how we became more diverse, and hating each other is, we don't really recommend of keeping any of our personal opinions about each other like that, but just keep it to yourself. And if you're watching the Super Bowl halftime show, don't give them the ratings on the Bad Bunny. So on that, I'm going into a deeper dive why the Super Bowl halftime show is more boycotted, is by the Rio Brazil Carnival in 2019 and 2020, apparently by their by their big major festivals that they have each year. And in the year of 2019 and 2020, a sample school Magnera portrayed a modernized version of Jesus as a marginalized figure, as a black indigenous or poor, by the other religious groups that will criticize it. And by Rio Brazil is known for by their political social medias, and the compassion by sneaking in to insult the most valuable religion nationwide is by the Christianity. And what else has been founded on the Christianity with a background was Charlie Kirk with a Turning Point USA. And will that be boycotted also by Bad Bunny, Kid Rock, and by the sponsor of by NFL, and also for by a former law enforcement officer, that is Officer Tatum is a Turning Point USA speaker versus versus by a content creator by a security off duty, imagining as a fact checked and a background on on the Turning Point USA and boycotting everything. And over in Rio, Brazil again, and for by fact checking and debunked and the viral dramatic videos to trigger your emotions and to first and cause of rumors then facts on just 2 minutes that wasn't such names that were mentioned in the news all over. And for those who dress as for the two people that dressed as Jesus is Satan, that were mocked and they were mocked and by their own creators and being sleazy unapologetic, stirring all of our beliefs and backgrounds by showing how and for by Rio, Brazil, and for by a fact checking by the Rio, Brazil carnivals in 2019 and 2020. By it's just like the same thing here that will happen on they will always trigger your emotions first and cause rumors then facts on just 2 minutes on news, and there wasn't any such names who actually dressed as Jesus and Satan that were mocked by the most by the most valuable religion of Christians, and by its own creators that created the carnivals are being more sleazy and unapologetic. It's during all beliefs and backgrounds. It shows how our physiologically spreads like fire fast. And that would be how the Super Bowl, let's not be having the Super Bowl to have it as like a very good thing, or don't play it to your kids and don't let them ingest any of it. And for by the assassination of Charlie Kirk's a legacy of Turning Point USA, a lineup with a Kid Rock and Bad Bunny, let's not make it into another boycotting. Because we never enjoyed an actual Super Bowl halftime show since Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, NSYNC, and Prince. Those were the best and those were the best performances by the Super Bowl halftime show, and we never enjoyed it, never again. Before I end off this video, is that I would like to bring up is that America will never forget the accidents happened in Rio, Brazil during their big carnivals back in 2019 and 2020 by mocking Christ. And I really hope that the super halftime show for this would be the last for by mocking Christ. And if you don't know, Kid Rock and Bad Bunny are making fun of each other, with Turning Point USA as the middle person that could end Charlie Kirk's legacy. Will it?